Have you ever wondered if there are lost teachings of Jesus that were deliberately hidden? What if I told you that one of the most mysterious and controversial Gospels, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, contains secret knowledge that could change everything we know about early Christianity? Stay with me until the end as we uncover the shocking secrets hidden in this ancient manuscript. Mary Magdalene is one of the most misunderstood figures in biblical history. Throughout the centuries, she has been misrepresented, ignored, and even falsely labeled as a prostitute. But what if I told you that these were deliberate distortions to erase her true role? The New Testament mentions Mary Magdalene multiple times. She was one of Jesus' most loyal followers, present during crucial moments of his life. While many of the male disciples abandoned him at the crucifixion, she stayed. And, incredibly, she was the first person to see the resurrected Christ before even Peter or John. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene suggests that she was more than just a follower. It describes her as Jesus' closest disciple, the one he trusted with his deepest teachings. But if this was true, why was her gospel hidden from the world? The Gospel of Mary was discovered in the late 19th century in Egypt, but it wasn't until the 20th century that scholars began to study its contents. Unlike the four canonical Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, this Gospel presents a radically different view of Jesus' teachings. The manuscript we have today is incomplete. Several pages are missing, leaving us with a fragmented but powerful narrative. In this Gospel, Jesus reveals secret wisdom to Mary Magdalene, a deeper, spiritual knowledge that he didn't share with the other disciples. One of the most fascinating teachings in the Gospel of Mary is about the nature of the soul. According to the text, the soul must pass through various realms before reaching true enlightenment. These ideas are strikingly similar to certain Gnostic beliefs, which emphasize spiritual awakening rather than rigid religious laws. But here's the big question: why would the early church suppress these teachings? One of the most dramatic moments in this gospel occurs when Mary shares Jesus' secret teachings with the other disciples. Instead of welcoming her words, they reject her. Peter, one of Jesus' closest followers, openly questions Mary's authority. He asks, "Did he really speak these things to you, a woman?" This moment reveals a power struggle within the early Christian movement. Mary claims to have received divine wisdom, but some of the male disciples refuse to accept it. They doubt her, dismissing her as inferior simply because she is a woman. But then Levi, another disciple, defends her. He tells Peter that if Jesus chose to reveal these things to Mary, then they should trust her words. This passage is extraordinary because it suggests that Mary Magdalene was not just another follower. She was a spiritual leader, perhaps even more important than Peter himself. So, why was this gospel rejected by the church? Could it be that Mary's leadership threatened the emerging male-dominated structure of Christianity? To understand why the Gospel of Mary was hidden, we need to look at the historical context of early Christianity. In the first few centuries after Jesus, Christianity was not a unified religion. There were many different groups, each with their own interpretations of Jesus' teachings. Among them were the Gnostics, who believed that salvation came from personal enlightenment rather than strict religious laws. The Gospel of Mary aligns closely with these Gnostic ideas. It teaches that spiritual knowledge is the key to salvation, that Jesus' message was about self-discovery, not institutionalized religion, and that Mary Magdalene had a special understanding of Christ's teachings. But by the 4th century, Christianity was becoming institutionalized. The Roman Emperor Constantine legalized the faith, and church leaders sought to establish a single, unified doctrine. Any texts that contradicted their authority, especially those that suggested women could be spiritual leaders, were declared heretical. As a result, books like the Gospel of Mary were banned, hidden, or destroyed. Could this mean that the true message of Jesus was altered? The Gospel of Mary contains teachings of Jesus that are very different from those found in the Bible. One of the most striking passages is when Jesus tells his disciples, Do not let anything disturb you or frighten you. All things come from the mind. The world is an illusion. This suggests that Jesus may have taught a more mystical understanding of life, one focused on inner transformation rather than external rituals. Another key idea in the gospel is that sin is not real, at least, not in the way we traditionally think of it. According to Jesus in this text, sin is simply ignorance of our true spiritual nature. Could it be that Jesus' real message was about self-awareness, and that this message was later changed by religious authorities? If we analyze this from a historical perspective, we see that Mary Magdalene's role was minimized over time. In the early centuries, Christian communities were diverse, and some of them revered Mary as a leader. However, as Christianity evolved into a structured institution, leadership became male-dominated. Texts that presented alternative views, especially those that empowered women, were removed from mainstream teachings. The Gospel of Mary is not the only text that presents an alternative view of Jesus' message. Other lost Gospels, such as the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Philip, also hint at hidden knowledge and a deeper, more spiritual interpretation of Jesus' words. But the question remains, why would religious authorities want to suppress these texts? Was it simply a matter of controlling doctrine, or was there something more at play? Imagine if the Gospel of Mary had been included in the Bible. How different would Christianity be today? Women might have played a much bigger role in the church. The focus of Christianity might have been spiritual awakening instead of religious hierarchy. The idea of sin and salvation might have been understood in a completely different way. But perhaps the biggest question is, was this gospel truly written by Mary Magdalene, or was it a later text inspired by her teachings? Regardless of the answer, one thing is clear. Mary Magdalene was a central figure in early Christianity, and her story deserves to be told. So what do you think? Was Mary Magdalene the true leader of Jesus' disciples? Should her gospel be recognized as part of Christian teachings? Let me know in the comments. And if you believe that the truth should never be hidden, type Amen. And make sure to subscribe for more eye-opening biblical revelations. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.